Origin- So, so today we'll be talking about, we've been studying about pollution, the human impact on water and earth. Now it's on air. So why do we need air? Well, we can like survive 40 days without food and 3 days without water, but we can't live like 3 minutes without air. It's very important. We need oxygen, and actually we need the atmosphere, and oxygen is a part of atmosphere. The atmosphere is like a shield. It will first provide gas for us to live, like oxygen and nitrogen for some other living cells. But also it absorbs radiation. So the sun is like is emitting radiation to the Earth and to the other planets. And this is not and the Earth is not fried because of the atmosphere, the ozone layer that protects from that radiation. And also it doesn't let the heat dissipate too easily from our atmosphere. It holds it so that the Earth is at quote unquote room temp, keeps the Earth warm. That's very important. And what is pollution? Well, it's the emission of pollutants into the air. And pollutants can be gases, can be particulates. For example, gas and particulates are like little, we've studied this in chemistry. It's called a diffusion. Like when, um, more specifically, is called a colloid. It's called a colloid. Yeah, it took a lot of time to remember that word, and I couldn't find. I had to take it out of my mind, and I couldn't find it on Google. That was the worst part. But yeah, colloids. Uh, it's a colloid because we have little particles into a gas, and that's a pollutant. Also, forest fires, like we have burnt ash and CO2. Well, that's also a colloid. All right, same picture. And what happens? For example, CO2 gets out of the exhaustion, the car exhaust, and also like particles like soot, and other things, and that will create smog, which is like that grayish, blackish thing that we see, which is fog with smoke. Also, ground level ozone is like we have a quote unquote ozone layer on ground level, and that is bad because that's why it's so hot in those big cities, because there's a lot of cars. It's very hot. And what's the problem with having too much ozone? Uh, well, other than that, that pollution makes, when it rains, it makes acid rain, and it can kill. It kills, right? Trees and poisons rivers. And there is measure of quality of air, like how many oxygen we have, how many CO2 we have in the air. And then there's an index from 0 to 50 is good, 51 to 100 moderate, and so on. And we have indoor air pollution, like for example, the car have carbon monoxide, gasoline, we have chemicals, fungi from the from like when you don't clean, obviously, and then when you clean you use chemicals, so that's also bad. And also from your AC pollution also. Things that are changing. All right, if we had a bad ozone layers, like a car, like the sun hits the car and the car doesn't, and the car lets the heat go inside, and it's very good because it doesn't let any of that heat dissipate. That is, could be good, but it's not good because then what happens is that inside the Earth would be very, very hot. That's what's happening. That's the climate change. And we need that, but the opposite, so that not too much heat comes inside the car, and that is easy, but not too easy to dissipate the heat. It's like a medium, has to be in the middle, right? And what affects the icebergs are melting, and also the Arctic living things are dying because of that. You see the Arctic in 1979, and on 2007, we can see like there's a big difference. And so we need to, it's because of the ozone hole, and we need to take care of it.